like to thank everybody. I don't need a microphone. I have a loud enough voice. And I'm truly honored. You're all not just people of Seaside, but you're my friends. And when I was in middle school, my United States history teacher had a slogan on the wall. And it said, "Politics is not a spectator sport." And I didn't understand what that meant. But now I do. Because it's not about me. It's not about the politics of Seaside. It's about improving together. And how we can come together to improve this city. And without your input, without your support, I'm nothing. So I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hear what I have to say. And we're going to move this city forward. There's things we can do. There's things we're going to do. And so what my campaign did, we were expecting an election. And we were ready for an election. And we actually spent a good amount of money on signs that you see here. Finally I get to use them. And they all came the same day that nobody else ran. I got big boxes on my front porch, and I said, why did I order those? But it's okay. It's okay, because we were ready for an election, and this year, Seaside's not having an election. Seaside's not having an election because 2 people ran for the office, and nobody else ran against them, including myself. And I don't know what that means. I can't interpret that. But if you know, maybe you can tell me. But what I do know is come November, I will be your city council member. And I'll be ready. And my phone number is over everything. Is on everything. If you don't have my number, come up and get it. Call me. Let's talk. I will always answer my call. Your call. One of the things that I'm going to implement is a 48-hour policy. And it says it on the back of your pamphlet. Establish the respond within 48-hour policy so no message gets ignored. And encourage other council members to do the same. Amen. One of the things that we did before the election is that we got 8 people together in the community from all different parts of the community. And we had a listening session just like we're having tonight. And I want to hear everybody's opinion. And we came up with 22 distinct things that Seaside could improve on. And those things are in your pamphlet. If you haven't gotten one yet, we'll make sure you get one. And I'll just highlight the things that we heard. And one of the things that we heard is community safety. And I'd like to tell everybody a story. In 2007, I moved to Seaside in 2001. And in 2007, I started coaching Seaside PAL soccer. And not because I had a kid, but because it was my way of giving back to the community. And I was coaching soccer at Latino Park. And in the middle of the practice, the police came flying up on the field with their lights and sirens, and they said, "Are you the coach?" And I said, "Yes, I'm the coach." They said, "Get all your kids off the field. We just had a shooting." It doesn't bother me. That part didn't bother me as much as looking on the faces of those 10-year-olds. Looking on the faces of those 11-year-olds. No kid, and let me repeat myself, no kid deserves that. And we're better. We are better than that. And one of the things that I'm going to do as a council member is I'm going to work to keep our community safe. Because safety is a #1 priority to me. If we're not safe, then people are going to be discouraged. Yes. People are going to be out of here. People are going to say, I'm done with Seaside, it's not safe. So what does this mean? We must create community policing and strong relationships with the police. And I did this as the chairman of the Neighborhood Improvement Commission. We replaced all the neighborhood watch signs. We started a neighborhood watch system. We started getting neighbors to talk to each other, and that's just the beginning. We have a lot of work to do.
Especially in my neighborhood.
The #2 thing that we heard was working to complete a vision for the city of Seaside. We all talk about down here and how great Lower Broadway can be, and we need to work on that. We need to work on that. One of the things that I think we need to do is create a city commission. A city commission that gets together and talks about what we can do down here. We can do First Fridays. We can bring in food trucks. We can support these businesses and have events down here. And I'm not talking about WWE. I'm talking about events that are family friendly, fun for the families to bring their kids. The adults can have a good time, and things that we can bring people in for taxes and to stay here in Seaside and to support our economy. The last thing we heard, and I'll repeat it again on the back of my pamphlet, because I heard it over and over again, was that city staff doesn't get back to me. Now, I've talked to the top people, developers, real estate people that are involved in big deals. The city responds to them. But what the city is, a challenge for the city right now, is us communicating with the people that need our help.
Yes.
And I'm not going to let any email go by. I am starting a policy as of today, 48 hours. Every call, every email, we're going to respond to. Whether it's a thank you for emailing me, thank you for this, thank you for that, we're going to respond. Because this is not a spectator sport, folks. This involves all of us.
Yes.
And all of us get together and break bread and have pizza and talk about the issues that we need to talk about to move this city forward. So I'm going to encourage my fellow council members, encourage the staff to respond to the public, and we're going to be the most responsive. And like I said, I can't do this alone. So what I'm asking for everybody tonight is if you could go over my 22 points, if you could look at my pamphlet, and if you can tell me where I'm wrong, or where I'm right, or what you would like to see added. Are there issues that you see? This is a community meeting. I want to hear from you and what we can do to make Seaside better and make it so that we have an effective voice and that we're working towards improving Seaside. So please, I'm going to open it up now. If you want to just say your name and where, and your suggestion or anything you have to say, I want to hear it. We're taking notes. Also, you can always email me, and all my information is on the flyer. So thank you for your time, and I'm just truly honored to have everybody here. And I know all of you personally, and I'm so impressed. And thank you for spending your Monday night with me. I'm truly blessed. You are all my family. Please call me, email me, reach out to me, whatever it is. So thank you very much. The issue that we're talking about here is about the fireworks. And yes, I hear it. I live San Pablo in Darwin. I hear the fireworks. They rattle my house. They disrupt our peaceful nights. And yes, that's an issue. What do you think? What would you like to see? What do you think we can do to help curb the problem?
Well, I mean, they advertise about the fire. They put the big sign in the flags. But you don't see any during 4th of July. They need to start before 4th of July starts.
Yes.
And because I mean, you do it on 4th of July, there's just too much going on.
Right.
But if you catch them earlier before they start, maybe confiscate
Head in the way.
their requirements that they have. That's one less person that you got.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a hazard. Fire hazard. People's pets get freaked out because my street gets disrupted because sometimes they're lighting them up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I think too, if the city could put cameras in the hot spots. You know, I've had the officers at my house 7 times to view my cameras because of where I live. And I think that if they would give, because I'm not the only one that lives in a hot spot.
Right.
And I think if they could get, you know, unfortunately I can't afford big fancy cameras. I'm on a limited income. But I think that if they could put up in the hot spots and have access. Now whatever happened to the cameras that were from the postgraduate school they got? They got a bunch of cameras from the postgraduate school a few years ago. What happened to those?
We're going to have to find out. We're going to have to find out what happened with those. Because as we get further into the new era, right, and we all are invested in technology, the city needs to invest in technology to keep us safe.
Right.
And we can't be behind. We have to be in front of it. And if it's cameras or if it's including getting our community safer, then that is something that I'm going to advocate for, absolutely.
Yeah, because I was going to say, you know, you and I were at the meeting last night, and out of all those people murdered, I think 3 of those happened, or 4 of them, right at my house.
Yes.
So, you know, that's not a very good track record.
Right. Ben?
So I kind of wanted to piggyback on the fireworks. There's also been issues in Seaside where there's loud vehicles driving around that are disruptive to the community. And I was wondering, is it possible to explore an idea to propose a City of Seaside election to pass a decibel ordinance? So if it goes over a certain noise decibel threshold, it'll, you know, be handled that way.
I hear it too. It rattles my house. We'll come by in the morning.
And maybe we can engage the neighborhood watch on that as well.
That's something that we can engage the neighborhood watch on. Absolutely. And have them explore how we can solve some of these problems with the loud noise.
Yep.
Veronica?
Where I live, I've been there for 3 years now, and the people just, I live over on top of Wanda, upper Seaside by malls, and the people are just flying by. I mean, they're going fast through there, and I just don't know how to get that fixed, but it's like everywhere. The kid across the street can't even play outside because they're flying through that street.
Right.
I want to see if somehow get that fixed. That's important to me.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Lori.
Fireworks, right next door to me. The guy, he's doing it 4:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. I sent in videos to Seaside. They never did anything. They came over 4th of July. I called in. Seaside PD didn't do nothing. They talked to him, just left. After they left, the kids, he's like in his 20s, right after he left, they started it all over again, started doing fireworks. Cops never came back. He continued, he left. A couple days later, he just continued. He's the one who did fireworks from May to probably August, was it, Alex?
Yes.
Because he hears it when it went off. Rent, we need to work on rents because rents are going way high. I do evictions. I feel sorry for the tenants because I feel sorry for the tenants. I work for the landlords too, and I work for the tenants. I mean, tenants need help. I'm a tenant myself. I'm doing everything to pay rent. It's hard. I mean, we need help. Another thing is racing cars down the streets on one-ways. They're always racing down these single.
I'm really glad to hear that we have a lot of the same ideas, a lot of the same issues.
We need more patrols on the streets. I mean, sometimes I don't even see cops patrolling at all for days. It's like, where the hell are cops?
How many officers are we down now?
I don't know the number, but I know that they're.
No, one time it was 9.
It's not 9 anymore. They've definitely rebounded in the back. Thank you.
My name is Mary, and I live in Seaside, Pacific Heights. I lived in Corral Tierra for 20 years and moved over here. And to me, it's a safe neighborhood. I'm proud to live in Seaside. I know the fireworks, everything is disruptive in this life today, but I really feel like, and when people told me Seaside back in the day was back in the day, but to me, it's really, I mean, there is no safe environment in this life today, it seems like, but I feel very safe and I'm happy to live here. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And it's so nice to hear that our residents do feel safe, and we got to keep that, right? We want to make sure that you always feel safe, and that we're going to do what we can to protect the residents of this community. I forgot about one point that we want to talk about too, and that is, did you have anything else for me?
Yeah, the drugs next door. I told the cops all about the drugs that's going on next door, and they never did anything about it. But then there was a drug overdose. They were there for like 4 hours when it happened, and I left a message to talk to the officer that was there, because they even had the CSI crime lab over there, and never heard from the officer. Finally I heard from Patty Kimball, because she's my connection with Seaside. And she said, oh, the officers do want to talk to you, but never heard from them after all either, because I had more to tell them than what they even found out about them, because I've seen what was going on before they even got there, and never even heard from them.
Right. And that goes to one of my points, is that overall, in all of our different departments, we just need to work on being more responsive to the public. And that is something that I hear over and over again. I also want to talk about a vision, right? A vision of Seaside. Right now, when people come into the peninsula, they drive through. And they're going to Monterey, they're going to Pacific Grove. We have to give them a reason to stop here in Seaside. And if you go to my website, if you listen to my campaign, you'll hear about the Seaside Multicultural Center. Now, this is a center where we're going to bring in people from all different backgrounds, and we're going to have, hopefully, you know, if you go in Saratoga, if you go to Villa Montalvo or the Mountain Winery, they have outdoor amphitheaters. We could have an outdoor amphitheater that overlooks the bay. I've talked to our county supervisor about this. She loves the idea. She loves the idea. We can make it happen with the Progressive Council. We need to have something that brings people into Seaside, and they shop at our restaurants, they go to Other Brother, they enjoy Seaside, and if we have an outdoor amphitheater with an inside with multicultural arts for children's theater, adult theater, Palenque arts, for people to be able to cook and eat and celebrate each other's cultures, we will come together. Yes. We will come together as a culture, as a city. So those are some of my ideas. Anybody else? All right. Safety first.
I just want to talk about the homeless. I see there's a great issue here. I've been here for a while now, and I see a lot of things happen, and I see a lot of things go, you know, up and down. I think they're being so neglected here. I'm considered one of them, but that's not true. But we need to not be able to go to our beds and sleep well, and think about other people, another human being, worse than we think about our dogs. You know, if there was a person sitting outside right now, and it hurts me right now, that was hungry. You know, they have to beg for food, and sometimes when they ask for the food, they didn't even get it. But if a dog was outside and got sick, there'd be 10 people, 20 people out there trying to take him to the doctor. And I think that is very sad when a human being life have to be below the standard of a dog, you know.
Yes.
It's sad, it's very sad, and we walk by every day, we see them, we don't do anything. I seen like 5 people sleeping in the bushes now, and they get up every day, they walk to go to Salvation Army to get a shower, to get some food, or just to have somewhere to go. They go to a different park and then they come back and they sleep outside. It rained a couple of weeks ago. They slept outside in the rain.
Yes.
I think it's very, very sad. Seaside can do better, or anywhere it's happening. We all can do better. We sleep, it's not going to be a permanent thing for the people who can help. Take a night out of your night to go out at nights and see who is pushing the buggy, who doesn't have a place to sleep. It can be done, it can be changed. And I'm willing to donate all my time and to do whatever that can be done. So please, I'm just asking for help on the behalf of all of you.
Absolutely. Irene and I, we drive to Palm Springs to go on vacation. And while you're driving on the 210, they have, I don't want to call them, they're warming huts. They're tiny homes.
Yes.
Okay. We have been gifted a lot of property from the federal government that came to Seaside.
Yes.
Now, we can use that property and buy and build $1 million homes, or we can use that property to help people.
Yes, I'm willing to, sorry.
There's certain things we can do, and we talked about when I ran for county supervisor in 2020, we talked about building tiny homes and having a tiny home area for the homeless. And that's something that people said, well, you're going to put them out in Fort Ord in the middle of nowhere. But the problem with that argument is Fort Ord is slated to be developed.
Yes.
With Campus Town, with Main Gate, with all these projects, we could actually put them in the middle of where this is. And I'm a firm believer that we can solve some of the homeless issues by having the tiny homes. We can have a bunch of tiny homes that make sense, and the city can work on that.
And you can count on me. I've been here for almost on and off for about almost 4 years now, and I've traveled over into the entire United States. I've seen things happen. I've seen how it works. I have a lot of experience, and I'm here offering. I don't want to pay for it because I get paid when I see someone life changes, and I'm gifted in that area, so don't feel, I mean, I have a number, so I'll never feel afraid to call.
Absolutely. And after our meeting, I'd like to introduce you to Ben Strickland. Ben is the chairman of the Homeless Commission for the City of Seaside. He's an excellent resource. If you have some time to connect with him, I would strongly suggest that.
I appreciate
So any other pressing issues that people came to talk about, or anything else that you think Seaside needs to focus on? Jim, how are you? Thank you.
Good to be here.
Thank you.
So I moved out here in Seaside probably about 5 years ago. Sold our house in Carmel because we wanted to get the sunshine. And rather than going out to Corral de Tierra, the sunshine, we decided to stay on the coast in Seaside. And you got some of the most spectacular views here. The community is great. What I wanted to address here was senior living here, the quality of senior living. And I think that we need to work on that. There are a lot of venues out here on the Monterey Peninsula and in Salinas that offer discounted rates to senior citizens for members. But we want to see what we can do at the Meadowbrook Swim and Tennis Club to offer senior citizens free memberships. And so I'm exploring this idea here with Alex to see what we can do to push forward on that. We'd like to see more of the citizens and community of Seaside out at Meadowbrook.
Yes, Dan.
I've seen the Facebook page, the word Jay, just about the park.
The parks.
And my brother was involved with the park.
Yes.
Doing a great job on it. The only thing is, like, the park, my family's been since 1959.
Yes.
And they've redone the park, Highland Oaks Park. It's got one of the best views.
Amazing view.
Of the bay. They put in barbecue pits. But I don't know if it was just for the residents that live nearby for use. Because I've given parties for my daughter, and I went to Monterey to rent their parks for parties, like outdoor parties, having barbecues, because they have restroom facilities.
Yes.
And water if you do cooking, because when you bring revenue to the city, but parks they're not really being used. Like, so why have a barbecue pit if you're gonna go there and cook on it? You gotta use the restroom. You gotta tax the group anyway, or unless you supply your own porta potty. I mean, not to copycat what the city marina doesn't want it. Almost every park they've got their own restroom that you have a key to, so you rent that out. You have a key to use that restroom, lock it back up.
Yes, and the issue of parks that Danny brings up is a big issue for me. I know it's a big issue for Councilman Pacheco, and the parks in our community, and through my work on the Neighborhood Improvement Commission, we use a lot of our funding to improve the parks. And like Danny said, with the bathroom, where the public can use bathrooms and things like that, that needs to be incorporated into any plan that we build and we revamp our parks. So I completely support that. And I'd like to talk to you about that some more. Because I know Lanny Olis's brother, I know Lanny was really an advocate for the parks.
Yeah.
And he loved the parks. So let's get a park and let's celebrate Lanny when we do it. Let's do that.
That peaceful situation the other day.
Oh, yes.
That stuff like that's coming.
We got to stop stuff like that.
But your intervention did help.
Yes. Good. We're gonna work on that too. So, Veronica?
I think I wanted to also address the more code enforcement. I'm not sure in the last meeting that we had, how many do we have on hand for the whole 35 or whatever population of Seaside to go out there and patrol more some of these houses that are just out of control with trash and debris and looks so, what's the word to say, but ghetto. It looks really ugly. A lot of these things need to be addressed and with more code enforcement somehow. That's another thing that I really want to see.
Thank you. I agree with you on that. Absolutely. Thank you. Anybody else? Well, I also wanted to give a big round of applause to David. He's the owner here at, one of the owners at Yevon. Just a fantastic gentleman. And this guy's a true Seaside hero. We're going to work with him to improve this area and give him what he needs, but this is some of the best pizza I've ever had. So cheers to David. Thank you very much. Thank you for hosting me. If there was no other comments,
I have a comment.
all right, go ahead.
Still on Lower Broadway here, there is no handicap parking.
Okay.
Parking, period.
Well, parking period, but there's nothing for seniors. When you talk about seniors, there's absolutely nothing down here that we can come down for. I can't walk that far.
Well, the city just bought a new lot here, so maybe we can try to figure out a way to get a handicap lot.
But it's still, it's still kind of
Too far.
It's too far.
the walking, yeah.
The handicap parking. Yes.
Yes,
Sure.
as she talked about the park, I remember, as you can see, I walk around with a walker,
Yes.
and the sidewalks,
Okay.
too many times I almost fall over, even though this is a very good walker. Too many times I tend to fall again, and which is what have me in the position that I'm in now. And I thought to myself, man, there's got to be a different way, but the sidewalks are very, very bad for a person like myself. And I'm sure.
Because of the knobbies?
Yeah, and one day I fell in the middle of the street with the walker, tumbled over. So yeah, those things are things that, and it's very hard for me to walk, but I push myself to do the best that I can. So the streets or the sidewalks are really horrible.
Thank you very much for that. I agree with you. Yeah, I do. Jim?
Hey Alex, I'm on the Friends of Seaside Park Association. I want to thank everyone for the work they're doing in the parks all across Seaside. They are fantastic. They look great. Yeah.
but I have to say this one.
No problem.
I want to say thank you to the police department in Seaside. I've seen a great change, and if it ever gets to I heard that there's a new, what do you call it, a new chief?
Yes.
And I have seen a great difference in the mannerism and the way the officers treat humanity like myself.
Yes.
And I just want to let you know and let everyone know that I am so grateful to see the change, because you, like myself, you've seen some things and I have seen some things. So I've seen a big change, and I say thank you, Jesus, thank God for that. And I just wanted to know that.
I'll give a hand for that. And I've been around for a while. I've been here for going on almost 25 years, and I've seen a change in the police department.
Yes.
And the other day I was here at a red light, and I looked over at a police officer, looked back at me and smiled.
Yes.
And I was thoroughly impressed with that.
Yes.
And that's going to be building community policing, and it's something that we're going to work on come November.
Yes.
Just need more presence.
More presence, absolutely. Yeah. Is there any other closing thoughts? And want to make sure that everybody has enough time to enjoy some more pizza. I'll be happy to order some more, or if anybody needs another drink. Of course, we're going to take care of that. And, so in closing, I just want to say thank you. And you all are my family, and Seaside is my home. And win, lose, or draw, I'm not going anywhere. So in the next election, if it doesn't work out, I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm done with Seaside. That's not in my blood. I'm going to continue to work hard and fight for this community, because this community means a lot to me. This community is where I'm raising my 6-year-old daughter, Olivia. Did you wave? Say hi. You haven't met Olivia yet? Please say hi. Please say hi. And this is what I do it for. This is what I do it for. And I want my daughter to have the same exact opportunities that I had when I was being raised. And I won't stop until that happens.
Thank you.
And we're going to make sure that we're going to take care of our kids. And that's the #1 thing. And that's the #1 motivation I have to be on the city council, is to make sure that she has a voice. So again, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm really thankful that you spent the night with me. We have a sign-up sheet. And to close, I'm going to introduce you to my mentor, my favorite person, the true guy that's really behind the scenes. This is Dr. Bob Miller, my father.
I know you're all expecting that Alex is going to change the world, bring prices down and do your thing. Not going to happen. But we do have something for you. We have a way that you can put your expensive groceries in the bag.